What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about why I don't normally talk about attachment styles. But before I start, today I'm rocking the Generational Curse Breakers tee. If you like that tee, if that message resonates with you, if you know about that struggle, click the link in the bio or description box or comment section or whatever. Anyway, we're here to talk about why I don't talk about attachment styles, why I pretty much ignore the concept for the most part. And I'm aware of it and I get it, I understand. But there are four main reasons I don't talk about attachment styles. And I think that because I get so many questions about attachment styles, and the base of these questions, at the core of them, they're people validating their experience and or behaviors with this science of attachment styles, whether or not it's true. I think it's arguable in some science and psychology circles about whether or not it can be proven. But this is why I don't talk about attachment styles. The first reason is they're often situational. People often tell me, they have this anxious avoidant attachment style or whatever attachment style they prefer to identify with. But when they don't like a man, they don't act like that. They're completely situational. When you decide you like someone, all of a sudden, now you got this attachment style problem, right? But when a person's neutral or you just like them a little bit, or you're just they're so situational and they're so person specific or crush specific that it's not consistent enough to claim that over your life and your behavior, because it's really not about what, it's about the who. It's only really applied to the men who you decide are God or, like God. You want these men so bad. You got such a hard crush on these guys. They give you butterflies. All of a sudden you got this attachment style when you're completely regular to everybody else. I'm good. I think that's a bullshit concept, to be quite honest. Most people lose their wits around a crush. That's not anything new. And just because it's performed differently in people, that doesn't really mean it's something special or specific or even damning to you. So that's one reason I don't talk about attachment styles a lot, because they're situational, so they're inconsistent. And the other reason I don't talk about attachment styles is they're usually just misused against the person's better interest for even giving shit or taking shit from people that they don't deserve. I've never heard anybody talk about attachment styles and explain using attachment styles while they were great or while they were in this great relationship and having this good experience with this healthy man or this healthy woman. Every time somebody brings up attachment styles, it's to excuse and absolve them of the personal responsibility of some bullshit they're either doing or accepting. I've never heard anybody use attachment theory to talk about some great thing that's happening or some amazing connection that they have or some beautiful mentally and emotionally healthy experience they were having or dynamic they were creating with the person. Every time somebody talks about attachment styles, it's literally to excuse some bullshit. And they say, well, I'm anxious avoidant, or he's avoidant dismissive, so and then insert bullshit that probably shouldn't be happening in a relationship. I think attachment styles really are a tool people use to validate and kind of co-sign their own bullshit or their own inability to control themselves, their own lack of sexual discipline or energetic or emotional discipline, or their own lack of interest in a person, or mental health, right? So when we think about, whatever attachment styles, I'm not even going to go into all of them, but when we think about this shit, it's never used. If we look at the people we've known and the conversations we've had about attachment style, please somebody tell me if they've had an attachment style conversation that was like, oh my God, this is such a beautiful, wonderful experience because of this attachment style. In general, we don't think about them unless shit's going wrong. And then we need that validation that we're not as stupid as we might feel for dealing with a thing that we probably shouldn't be dealing with. And again, I'm not calling anybody stupid, but internally we judge ourselves and we know better. And so we do have some guilt around some of the decisions we make and things we accept. And then we use attachment style or attachment theory to kind of explain it to us that why we might not be to blame for our own thing. And it can be overcome. Some people use it as like a damning concept. It's like, I'm anxious avoidant. I can't stop this. Me, I'm anxious avoidant. And it's not your identity. It's a behavior, right? And so That's how I feel about that shit. With that said, the third reason I don't talk about attachment theory or attachment styles that much is they disempower you or a person in general by putting the responsibility on the attachment type or on the personality type or some force larger than yourself. And then anybody who's not committed or strong enough to actually apply some discipline to their experience just uses them as a crutch, right? If you can't stop being this attachment style and that's your identity and you've damned yourself to that level of behavior and that level of acceptance, whatever that attachment style might be, it really boils down to people just skirting responsibility for their actions and non-actions, right? That's all it is. It's an excuse crutch. So for me, I'm just not interested in teaching women that they don't have the power over their decisions, that they can't operate in discernment, that they can't do better, decide better, select better, be better, require better, and experience better. I'll never get into a position where I'm teaching you that you can't anything. And I think attachment styles apply a certain identity to a person's inadequacies and flaws in relationship to what they apply to a relationship or what they accept in a relationship or what they allow people to do or how they allow people to treat them. It applies an identity and it damns you to the victimhood of that identity, whatever that might be. I'm one who believes in personal responsibility, accountability to a degree, right? Victims exist, we understand that, but people with these attachment style affinities don't often see themselves as victims of the behavior at that point. They just see themselves as victims of the attachment style. So it really breeds a weakness mindset, and I'm just not interested in going there. That's a part of dating psychology. I'm just not interested in because I haven't seen it applied in a healthy way. And the fourth reason I don't mention it is really just because attachment styles are meant to categorize behavior, not damn you to it. It's not a life sentence, right? It's not an assignment. It's not something that you can't help or you can't change. You can decide to be anything you want to be. Every day you get a chance and a choice. And attachment styles in some ways seem to take away the chance and the choice because people identify themselves with it. They start to embody the inadequacy when they are talking about attachment styles too much or when they're watching a bunch of attachment style videos. And I know some people are doing like attachment style rehab and things of that nature, but I just would rather stick to the behaviors. Let's stop doing these behaviors. Instead, do these behaviors, right? Let's stop accepting these behaviors. Instead, accept only these behaviors. Let's require this instead of that. Let's do this instead of that. You have more control over your behavior than any psychological concept of how your brain attaches to a person that you can't control and therefore aren't responsible for. I just don't believe in attachment styles that much, to be quite honest. So that's kind of why I don't dig into those. And I have an even worse opinion of soul ties. So I guess I'll do the why I don't talk about soul ties video here pretty soon. But so anyway, follow me at KidVic24. Again, Generational Curse Breaker t-shirt. If that message resonates with you, go to the link below. I'll get with y'all later.